Let's be real. Parenting today can feel like trying to navigate a minefield of screens, apps, and all kinds of digital distractions. It's a huge challenge, but you know what? Getting it right is more important than ever. So what we're going to do is dive into a framework built from some of the best advice out there that can bring some much-needed clarity and confidence to your parenting in this digital age. Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you are so not alone. That moment when you say, "Time's up," and you're met with tears or some serious negotiations, maybe even a full-blown meltdown. It's a universal struggle. But here's the thing. There's actually a foundational approach that can totally change that dynamic. And that brings us right here. Before we even get into specific screen rules, we need to build a solid foundation. And all the research points to this one super effective approach called authoritative parenting. So let's dig into what that actually means.
Okay, the magic word here, it's balance. This isn't about being their best buddy, and it's definitely not about being some kind of drill sergeant. It's about being both. You're that warm, loving guide, but you also set really clear, firm expectations. That combo, that's the secret sauce.
So think of it like two sides of the same coin. On the one hand, you've got warmth, right? This is all about that connection, showing love, really listening, and building a deep sense of trust. But then, on the other hand, you have structure. And these are your guardrails, the clear rules, the consistent boundaries, and the consequences they can expect. And here's the kicker. You need both. One without the other just doesn't work. And this little phrase, this is basically your mantra. It's how you put all that theory into practice. So picture this. Screen time is over, your kid is melting down. You start with warmth. I get it, you're sad the show is over, it was a really fun one. You're okaying the feeling. Then you calmly bring in the structure. And our screen time is all done for today. You hold that boundary. See? It's empathy followed by firmness.
All right, now that we have that foundation, let's get practical. Because let's face it, a 3-year-old and a 13-year-old, they're living on different planets, especially when it comes to the digital world. So your screen rules can't be a one-size-fits-all deal. They have to grow and change right along with your kids.
With toddlers, the big thing is they learn best from face-to-face, real-world interaction. Screens can really get in the way of that. But for teens, the digital world is a huge part of their social world. So the challenge there is totally different. It's about navigating really complex social stuff, mental health, and, finding that connection safely. It's just two completely different ballgames.
So when we're talking about the little guys, kids between 2 and 5, the recommendation is pretty clear. It's 1 hour or less per day. And, this part is super important, it has to be high-quality stuff. This isn't just about parking them in front of a screen to keep them busy. It's about making sure that if they are watching something, it's actually good for them. So what does high quality even mean? Well, think about shows like these. Shows like Daniel Tiger, Sesame Street, Super Why. These aren't just random cartoons. They're actually backed by a ton of research to help teach kids social and emotional skills. Things like how to share, how to deal with being frustrated, how to solve problems. This is the kind of screen time that's actually working for them. Okay, now let's switch gears to teens, where the stakes get a whole lot higher. The data here is, it's pretty sobering. In about 75% of cases, social media is seen as a contributing factor to the teen mental health crisis. That's a huge number, and it really shines a light on the potential dark side of being constantly plugged in.
But, and this is a really important but, it is not all bad. For some kids, especially teens who might feel like outsiders in their own town or school, social media can be an absolute lifeline. Seriously, it can be a place where they find connection, a sense of community, and support that they just aren't getting anywhere else. So it's not black and white, right? It's a tool, and it can be used for good or for harm.
Okay, so let's circle back to that battle we all know so well, ending screen time. How do you do it without triggering World War III? The trick is to have a system. You got to be proactive instead of just yanking the plug out of the wall unexpectedly. So here's a super simple 3-step plan. Step 1, always give a warning. A simple, hey, 5 more minutes, does wonders to prepare their brain for the switch. Step 2, and this one is a game changer, turn off autoplay. I mean it. When the next video just rolls on and on, there's no natural ending. You want the end of the episode to be the actual end. And step 3, when they actually hand over the tablet without a fight, make a big deal out of it. Wow, thank you for handing that over so nicely. That little bit of positive reinforcement makes it way more likely to happen again next time. And listen, this next one might be one of the most important rules you can possibly set for your family's structure. No screens in the bedroom. Full stop. Period. Why? Well, the blue light totally messes with sleep hormones, and all that content keeps their brains firing on all cylinders when they should be powering down. This one rule can have a huge impact on their sleep, which, affects pretty much everything else. Okay, so we've spent a lot of time talking about how to manage screens, but honestly, that's only half the battle. The single best way to cut down on screen time is to fill that time with something that's, well, better. We need things that are fun, engaging, and that they'll actually get excited about.
And listen, this doesn't have to be some big, complicated production. I mean, come on, throw some pillows around and build a fort. Suddenly, you're a team of engineers. Line up those same pillows and you've got an indoor obstacle course. A cardboard box can become a puppet theater in 2 seconds. Or how about this? Grab some flashlights and go for a night walk. It totally transforms a boring old walk into a massive adventure. Or hey, just crank up some music and have a ridiculous 5-minute dance party in the living room. It's all about that connection, all about play.
And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. What if we've been looking at this whole thing wrong? What if our goal wasn't just managing screens? What if instead of focusing on the negative, on all the fighting and the limits, we put all of that energy into the positive? What if the real goal was just maximizing connection, building stronger bonds, just having more fun together? If we made that the goal, what would change?